Hello, my name is Dale Maley. Today we're going to talk about how to build an LED lighted display box for stained glass panels that have some clear glass in the center area. If you have a stained glass panel that really doesn't have any clear glass in it and you'd like to illuminate it using LED light strips, you can see my other YouTube videos, and I do a pretty good job of explaining how to build the wood box and how to light those type of panels. But in that method, basically, is to make a wood box with the inside larger than the stained glass panel, and then wrap 2 or 3 turns of the LED light stripping around the inside of the box. And because the LED emitter squares are outside the stained glass panel, you cannot see those bright spots, which are very irritating. This is called a cross-sectional view. And if you took a saw and you sawed horizontally through the wood box holding the stained glass panel, and then looked down upon the area that you sawed, what you'd see is the thin part of the stained glass panel, which is shown in yellow. And then you see the front face, which is in gray, which is wood. And then you have sides on the box, and on the left there you can see the gray side. On the back of the box in blue is the back panel. So I'm using wood, the red and green. I'm using wood to hold the stained glass panel in place, the yellow panel. And then I wrap 2 or 3 turns of the LED strip lighting, which are little rectangles shown in purple, and they would be on the inside of the wall of the box. There's some key dimensions in here if you're interested in actually making this design. I'm not going to go through all of those. I will note on the inside of the box you have to paint everything white. I use semi-gloss white because you want the light from the LED emitters to reflect all the way around the box and light up the stained glass panel from the back. This next photo shows the installation of the LED strip lighting. You can see the little reel comes on a reel, plastic reel, laying on the table. You unwind the reel and then fasten it's like tape, fasten the LED strip light on the inside wall of the box, and then make 2 to 3 turns. The tape will hold the LED light in place, but I don't trust tape for a long life, so I use little plastic clips with screws to permanently hold the LED strip lights in place. Once you have finished this part of it, all you have to do is install the stained glass panel in the front, install the back, and you're completed. This photo shows the finished Cahokia spider project that I recently did, and this didn't really have any clear glass in the center. Everything had a color to it, but this is illuminated with LED, and it really came out nice. Now, what if your stained glass panel has some clear glass in the center area? You could run into a problem there because if you're at a slight angle viewing the stained glass panel, you can see those very annoying bright spots from the LED emitters. So how can you solve that problem? Now here's my attempt to illustrate the problem you can run into if you have some clear glass in the center of your stained glass panel. Again, this is a cross-sectional view looking down at the light box. So you see the thin purple rectangular piece there, that's the stained glass panel. And if the human eye is looking at an angle, it could look through the clear spot in the glass and it would see those very bright LED emitters from the 3 wraps of the LED light. This illustrates the problem you can run into if some of your glass is clear in your panel. And I started wondering, how can I block those bright spots from those little LED chips? I came up with the idea, why not make a wood dam which blocks your eye from seeing those LED chip bright spots. Now here's the same cross-sectional drawing that we looked at a minute ago, except now I've added what I called the wood dam, and that is shown by the green rectangles on both sides, which are wood. So if you place that piece of wood in there, now your eye can no longer look at an angle through the clear glass of the panel and see those 3 wraps of LED strip light, as shown here. And so you would end up with a gap between the wood dam, the green, and the light yellow at the top, which is the back panel. So all the light has to come from the 3 wraps of LED strip light, bounce off the wood dam, then bounce off the back panel, and then come and illuminate the stained glass panel. Well, that gap between the top of the green wood dam and the back panel, by experimentation, I have found that needs to be probably a minimum of 7/8 of an inch. My 3 wraps over there on the left, what that means is they are also less than 7/8 of an inch total height. Now in this picture, you can see the outer frame of the wood box, and then you can see where I've started to install the wood dam, which is only 1/2 inch thick wood, and that'll be the dam. And then I'm also going to use that to hold the stained glass panel down. So I put a couple of wood blocks on the outside of the dam and then screwed those into the main frame, and it helps to keep the stained glass panel in the proper position. On your project, if you want to, you can experiment with how big that gap should be between the top of the wood dam and the back panel. My experiments say that 1/2 an inch is too small, it doesn't let enough light through, and 7/8 seems to work okay. The bigger the gap, the more light will come to the stained glass panel. So you could use cardboard to experiment with different heights and see which one works best for you. Now, as you can see in this photo, this stained glass has quite a bit of clear textured glass, even some in the center around the red diamond in the center. In this particular picture, the LED lighting is turned off and the shop lights are on. Now here's a photo of the finished project with the LED lighting turned on. And as you can see, the stained glass panel is illuminated very nicely, and you cannot see any bright spots from the LED emitters as well. The photograph doesn't really do it justice. It's really a very pretty panel lit up by the LED lighting. So in summary for this project, adding a wood dam is an easy way to illuminate stained glass panels that have some clear glass in the center area. That wood dam can also act as your clamp to hold the stained glass panel in place. What I did was add 4 small wood blocks to the outside of the dam. I glued those wood blocks to the dam, then drilled holes in the blocks, and one screw hole in each of the blocks, so 4 screws holds the wood dam down, which in turn holds the stained glass panel down. Hope you enjoyed this video and learned how to illuminate your panels that have some clear glass in them. Thanks for watching.